Hi, everybody. Dr. Val here with Coffee Chats. I picked up a book last night and that I'm reading, and it struck me as odd because there's a lot of stuff in here that I really didn't know the details of. That's why I'm reading the book. And I would not recommend everybody run out and buy this book. But it's fascinating. It's a medical book. And it's called Excitotoxins. And I'm just going to share with you the premise of it because it goes way into detail and it's pretty technical. And the fields of neurology and the fields of, chemistry have really big words. And sometimes it's hard even for me. Like I can only read a little bit at a time of this book and then I have to put it down. So consequently, I've been reading this book off and on for quite a while. But it's called Excitotoxins, The Taste That Kills, by Dr. Russell Blaylock. I'm just going to read basically the back cover because his book goes into tons of detail and the research is astounding. But the premise is that there is a classification of chemicals that were found that when you added them to food, it made the flavor enhanced, it made everything brighter. It just became a staple of the food industry after World War II. And some form of MSG has been added to hundreds and thousands of products ever since then, because the food industry, obviously, stuff that's canned, stuff that's cooked way ahead of time, when you go to package and process this, it depletes a lot of the taste, the brightness, the freshness. And so anything you can add to enhance that is a money maker for the food industry. So I'm gonna read the back because, and this is what I'm getting into in the book, is all of the data on MSG. So MSG is a big number one in this class of chemicals called excitotoxins, meaning excite, it's very overstimulating and they're obviously toxic, but it's toxic specifically to your brain cells, neurons. So the studies in it are fascinating and really freaking scary about studying cells that are exposed to this, numerous things, anything in this class. And the neuron, the cell, just fires and 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 fires. And after several hours, the cell quits firing and it dies. It overstimulates these cells so much that it kills them, literally, by overstimulation. That's what this group of chemicals does to your brain cells. I mean, it's shocking, okay? And this is put in baby food, or some variant of it. So when MSG started getting a bad rap, quite a few decades ago, they basically tweaked it, named it something else, tweaked it again, named it something else, and it is still prevalent, unfortunately, in many, many different things. So when you see, I'll read this part from the book about some of the words to look for on your packaging and labeling, what things, because the labeling laws are pretty lame when it comes to what falls under what's okay and what can be released. So lots of foods will say, oh, we don't have MSG, but yet they have basically sister chemicals in them that are doing the same thing. And it's still part of this class of excitotoxins. So I'm going to read the back. An excitotoxin is a substance added to foods and beverages that literally stimulates neurons to death, causing brain damage of varying degrees. It can be found in ingredients such as monosodium glutamate, which is MSG, aspartame, NutraSweet, cysteine, hydrolyzed protein, and aspartic acid. Okay, so one of the things that it gets disguised as, when things say natural flavoring, that could be MSG. There's all kinds of things that fall into those categories of flavor. You ever read a label and you get to the bottom and it's like flavor? I mean, that's basically like saying other or natural flavoring. It's crazy, but this used to be, as MSG, used to be added to baby food. And then it was changed, but it was still found that basically the same chemical, just by a different name, was being added to most baby foods. Now I can't, I didn't highlight it. Hydrolyzed, so I've seen this. Oh, here it is, natural flavoring. Hydrolyzed plant protein. And hydrolyzed protein, you think, oh, that's normal. That's plants, right? It's not. It's a different form of basically MSG. It's just scary, because even when you try to read labels and you get down to the ones at the bottom and you're like, other, I mean, that's really what it is, other. That is really, really bad. And some of these other forms, like the hydrolyzed plant protein, are actually worse for you than MSG was, worse to the neurons. Fascinating stuff, really scary. The more you can stay away from packaged, canned, processed foods, the better. When you can buy things and make things from scratch, buy produce and raw whatever, beans, or, buying your things that don't have a label, contains meat, beef. I shouldn't even say that. That's the contains mystery meat. Some of the products on the market today, contains broccoli. When that's all it is, great. Take that and work with it, because it's really scary, the things that are being added to our food and have been for decades. And then we wonder, why is dementia on the rise? Why is ADD on the rise? Why is autism on the rise? Well, I mean, there's so much coming at our bodies from every angle. It's no wonder that we aren't sicker, honestly. So anyway, just wanted to open your eyes a little bit to scary stuff. And I wouldn't actually recommend, unless you really like neurology. There are some pictures, but it's really tiny print and big words. I'm finding it fascinating. But if you want to educate yourself, read this book. Tons of research on it, and it's just downright scary. So anyway, sorry, that's kind of a downer message, but it is what it is. We are eating a food experiment, and it's scary, and it's amazing any of us walk around most days. So that's all I have for today. I'll catch you tomorrow.